coming onto your back. Let's have our feet on the ground today. We'll have the knees up towards the ceiling. But then we'll step the feet just a little bit wider and let the knees steeple in towards each other. Yeah, and then soft stretch to the upper body. So arms can move out to the sides. We can stretch the palms up towards the ceiling. And if it feels like the shoulders are rolling in, then maybe we add in a little bit of a snuggling of the shoulder blades onto the back body, so you start to feel a bit more actively that stretch in the shoulder head. And then once we shape the body, you can just let the eyes be soft, letting yourself move into the breath, noticing inhale and exhale. See what happens as you start to focus more on the breath in, the breath out. Notice how the breath shifts, even if subtly. Notice how the body responds in turn. Add in some soft movement by swaying the knees side to side. So starting to release the hips, the lower back. You might have bigger swings, you might have smaller swings. So moving like you. Yeah, and then letting the knees come back to center. We'll shimmy the hands down by the sides of the body, close to the hips, so we can draw the thighs in and stretch the feet up towards the ceiling. Starting to circle out through the ankles. Right, circling in the other direction. Wiggling the toes, stretching out through the toes. We can point and flex the feet a few times. Yeah, bend the knees and then take a couple circles with the knees. So like the knees are drawing some circles on the ceiling. Doesn't matter which way. Just notice the way that they're circling. And then send the circles in the other direction. And then next time knees come back in together, we'll hold the knees in there and bring the hands to the shins. If we're able, we're going to roll up to sitting. If that's not a good fit, then move to your side and press yourself up. Yeah, and then once we come up to sitting, we can let the legs lengthen out. As the legs lengthen out, just give yourself a soft V shape with the legs, right? So a straddle shape. Yep. And then we're going to just take a twist to one side. And we're going to inhale center. We're going to take the twist to the other side. Yep. So it's going to be a few times like that. Try to keep the toes up. Now one more time each way. Coming back through center after that second side, bring the fingertips inside the legs. Still keep the toes up, and then just give yourself a little bit of a stretch forward. It's going to be with a flat back, so we're not going to probably move as far forward as if the chest drops. Just want you to feel behind the knees a little bit. So a little bit opening in the tendons. Yeah, you can let the ear here move side to side. So ear to shoulder. We'll inhale center, ear to shoulder. Right. It's a little bit of a feeling of a reach with the hands, right? Right, so you're opening up that area, top of the shoulders into the neck. And then bringing the head back to neutral. We'll inhale the top of the head back to the ceiling. Hands can come behind the knees so we can bring the soles of the feet together, and it can be a pretty open shape. And then with that, we're going to bring the hands behind the hips, ideally with the fingertips facing forward. Right, so a little opening up to the wrist, to the elbows, to the front of the chest. Gaze can turn up. Good job. One more breath here. Softening at the end of the exhale. We'll come back through center, head to tailbone, and from center, we'll make our way up to standing. As we come back to standing, I want to take a couple circles with the arm. So as we're circling the arm, I just want us to think about not moving the spine to move the arm, because I really want us just to try to work with the shoulder more directly. So that movement, we're going to lead with the thumb. We take the arm up as far as it goes. Right, and then you're going to flip, right? The hand just has to flip. It's going to circle back around, right? And it might be a smaller circle, right? So it's whatever it is, right? You're working with your level of mobility. Don't force it, just be with it. And then when the hand comes back down the hip, go ahead, go the other way. So leading with the pinky finger, right? Right, you lead and then the arm rotates when it needs to. It knows, just follow it. And as that hand raises back down by the hip, we'll leave that arm down. It's going to be the second side. Same thing, you lead with the thumb as far as it goes. Then you rotate it down and around. We have 2 more times. And as the hand comes back down, then you shift backwards, right? Leading with the pinky finger back and then forward. As the hand raises back down, we'll leave the hands down. Here's where we can reach for our free weight. So this, you don't have to use the weights. The weights are an option if you want to add in a little more strengthening around your practice. So you can, just using your body strength works as well. So option to add in if you want. Okay. So once we grab our weights, we're going to come into our warrior one with the right foot back, right? So we'll take that big step back with the right foot. Toes are going to face the outside edge of the mat. Hips, shoulders face towards the left toes. And then we're going to rotate the knuckles forward, right? So we're going to have the knuckles facing towards the left toes too. Keeping the top of the head up towards the ceiling. When we inhale, we're going to bend into the knee. We're going to draw the weights up to the shoulders, little bicep curl. Exhale, we're going to lengthen. A few times here. And 2 more times. All right, we're going to bend into that front knee again. The arms are going to come up to the shoulders. We're going to keep the bend in the front knee, and then we're going to lower the weight. So forearms are parallel towards the mat. See if you can open up the fingers. 5 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. 2 more. Here's that breath out. Last one. Right, end of your exhale, hold back onto the waist. Let the arms come down by the sides of the body. See if we can turn up that back heel. Right, we're a little bit buoyant with that back knee. And then as you're ready, it's an exhale. Feet are going to come back together at the top of the mat. We're going to pause here for a few breaths. Let the arms stay long. Let the weights lengthen out the arm muscles. Okay, good job. Now we're going to switch sides. We're going to step the left foot back. So now the right foot stays forward. We're going to change up the arms here a little bit. So we're going to start with the elbows bent and the weights are at the shoulders. And then when we breathe in, we're going to bend into the front knee again, but this time we're going to try to stretch the arms up overhead. Biceps are close to the ears, and then we exhale, we lengthen the legs, and the weights come back to tops of the shoulders. Yep, a few times there. Stay with it, a few more rounds. All right, next time we bend into the knees, stretch the arms up. We're going to see if we can hold here. Super strong. 5 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. 2 more. Breathing out. Last breath here. Okay, end of the exhale, bring the weights back down to the shoulders and then lengthen the arms down by the sides of the body. We're going to turn up that back heel again. Knees a little bit soft. When you're ready, it's the exhale. Feet come back together, top of the mat. Pausing here. Check in with the feet here. The ankles should be under the hips. We're going to be shifting the hips back and standing up. So if it feels tight, right, just step a little bit wider, right? That creates a little bit ease, especially sometimes with the knees. So that's how you can create a little bit greater feel of spaciousness, just stepping a little bit wider. All right. So we're going to leave the weights just down by our sides. And when we breathe in, we're going to shift the hips back. We're going to bend the knees. The weights are just going to move towards the weight. And then when we exhale, we're going to stand back up and we're going to press the hips more forward. So here's our inhale. Here's our exhale. Yep, a few times. We've got 2 more like this. All right, check it out. We're going to drop into the hips again, but as we drop into the hips, we're going to work with the arms, strengthening the triceps. So the hips are going to shift back. The hips shift back. We're going to keep the chest low, but here now we're going to lift up with the arms. So the heels of the hands are moving up towards the ceiling. And then from here, we're going to draw, again, weights in towards the shoulders, and then we're going to press them back. Yep, a few times like that. Try to keep the neck neutral. Nice job. A few more rounds. All right, next time that the arms extend, we're going to see if we can keep them extended, and then we're going to pulse up tiny movements for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good job. Stand up. Let the hands come back down by the sides of the body. Yeah. Taking just a few breaths here. Let the weights lengthen out the arms. All right. Let's release one weight down to the floor. And then we're going to keep just one hand. So let's keep it first in the right hand. All right, so we're going to move through that triangle pose with the weight extended up towards the ceiling. So that helps strengthen the small muscles in the shoulder head, as well as especially side body core. All right, so we'll keep the weight in the right hand. We're going to keep the right toes facing forward. And then we're going to have that big step up with the left foot. So the left toes are going to face to the side. Right. And then remember here, we really want to engage through the belly. So it definitely feels like my belly button is moving towards my spine. That's lifting up my pelvic floor. See if you can sense that. And then I want to stretch. Right, my weight up towards the ceiling. So ideally, the weight's going to stay up towards the ceiling the whole time here. The exhale, is where we're going to lean down. So it's kind of like we're reaching towards that ankle with our fingertips. And then the inhale, right, we're going to draw back up. Yep. A few times like that. So we've got 2 more. As you come back up this last time, take your time. First, bring the weight to the shoulder, then lower it down. Turn all 10 toes into the same direction, and then we'll transfer the weight now over to the left hand. Here's where the right toes turn out to the side again. Stay engaged with the belly. Left hand's up. Same cycle. We're going to take now right fingertips down towards our ankle, trying to keep weight up towards the ceiling. A few rounds here. One more time. As we come back up this last time, weight comes down to the shoulder, then release it down. All 10 toes come back to facing in the same direction. Bring the weight back to the right hand. Left hand's going to come out to the side. So we're good. This is a hip movement, right? So this is going to be a swing, right? So we're going to bring the weight. It's going to kind of be in between here, right? And we're going to shift the hips back, and then we're going to try to lift the weight. Yep. All right, one more time here. Come up, let the weight settle down. You're going to switch out your arms. Now the weight's over in the left hand. Right arm's going to extend. Same thing. Press the hips back and then try to press it. So you're lifting with the hips, right? The hips is driving the weight. 2 more. All right, coming down. You go up. Let the weight come down. Good job. The arms relax, bring the feet back up underneath us, and then we're going to release this weight down to the floor as well. Come back to mountain where feet are in parallel. Yeah. And then let's sweep the arms up. You're going to look at the hands as the arms come up. Exhaling. Hands back down by the sides again like that. You one more time. Yeah. Left hand's going to scoop up. As it comes overhead, flip the palm up towards the ceiling and then hold on to that rest with the right fingers. I'm drawing the arm over to the side. If you want to add in a little bit of a tilt of the torso to the right, you might do that too. Good job. Inhaling back through center. Arms come down. Right hand first, we scoop up. And then as arm comes up, palm flips up towards the ceiling. Lift fingertips around that wrist. So I draw the arm over. Maybe also tilting through the torso. Good job. Inhaling, coming back through center. Yeah, let the arms go. Give your arms a little shake out. All right, so we're gonna work now with the legs more. So we got through the arms, the shoulders, working through the hips. We're gonna drop down a little bit. And we're gonna play with kind of deadlifts, right? So deadlifting, right, that's like a functional movement, right? So strengthening that action benefits us, lower back, core, legs, quads, everything. So it's a nice shape movement to visit, and adding on weights, again, always optional. So even doing this motion without weights still adds a lot of benefit to the body. All right, so we're gonna have both the weights in our hands. And again, this one is best if we can stay really with the ankles under the hips, so our mountain pose, right? So the weights are weighted now against the tops of the thighs, and we really want to try to graze the weights down the legs as we move here. And it's a hinge, so the hips aren't dropping back. So we're gonna exhale, we're gonna hinge at the hips, chest moves forward. Try to keep the weights close to the body. You're going to come down as far as you do, and then you graze back up. You inhale, graze back up. Yep, a few times here. See if you got two more. One more. All right. We're going to stay with this sort of this deadlift, right? This functional thing, but we're going to add in a little bit of a challenge with balance. Okay, so it's going to be a single leg deadlift. So it's going to look a little bit different, right? So hands are going to be by the sides. We're going to still hinge forward with the chest, but as we hinge forward, the weights are just going to be towards the ground. See what it feels like. If it feels like a lot, right, we can let the weights go. And you're also going to move in a way that feels appropriate for you. So let's say we're starting with moving the right leg back. So what I do, I'm going to shift that right leg back. My chest comes forward, right? And I could keep the toes on the ground and come back up, right? That might feel like enough, right? It might be, right, that I can extend the chest more and the leg more before I come back up, all right? So you're going to move in a way that feels appropriate to you. Again, there's balance. We're adding in weights. Listen to yourself, okay? So you got 6 rounds on this side. We know what the movement looks like now. Right, you're moving like you. Right, and you can take your time here, right? Especially if you're playing with extending the leg more and the chest down more, take your time because your body has to figure out the balance around it, okay? You probably have about 2 more left. As you come back to standing after your 6th one, take a breath. Okay, and then we're going to move to the second side. So find first your standing self, grounding down now through the right leg. It's going to be the left leg that moves back. Same thing, right? You're going to move back with the leg as much as you can as the chest moves forward, and noting that this side might be a very different experience than your other side. And then we're doing about 6. Probably have maybe 1 or 2 more left. When you're coming back to standing after your 6th one, go ahead and release the weights back down to the mat. Yeah, good job. And then now step just a little bit wider. So as we step wider, it is a straddle, but then my toes and my knees are tracking out to the side. All right, belly draws in again. All right, just practice. It's like your plie. We're going to bend the knees. All right, we're going to come back up. All right, come back up. We can stay just like this without utilizing weight, just using body strength. If you're wanting to add more, then here's where you can reach down for a weight. You got an option. You can keep one weight down, right? And we can just weight it like this. If you want to add in 2 and add in just a little bit more chest, then you can do that too with 2 weights. So we got options today. I should know you all go for 2. All right, so this is if we're doing the 2. We're gonna squat, right? We're gonna bend the knees, we're gonna drop down. 2 weights are gonna come inside the legs, and then as we come back up, here's where you add in. Elbows up to ears. Yep. 2. Keep lifting up with that belly button, right? Stay connected with that engaged pelvic floor. See if you got 3 more. Here's our last 2. Last one here. Good job. As the weights come back down, arms lengthen, feet can come in. And as feet come back in, we can let the weights come down to the floor, and then we're going to come back down to sitting on our mat as well. So we can release the weights and then bring our bodies all the way down. All right. So I want to do just a little bit of core with the weights. So if you want to use weights, you don't have to use weights, but the core is a boat pose, right? So we're going to, in our boat pose, we can have the feet on the ground, right? The knees are bent. Just sitting like this, right? A little is, you can feel your muscles are turned on. Everything's really engaged. So, right, boat pose is a beautiful strengthening pose, and it's like the whole girdle of the body, right? And it could be just with the arms, right? Side to side with the arms, right? We could do it like that. If you're wanting to add in the barbell, same thing, except for hands stay closer to the body. Here's your breath in, right? We exhale, lengthen arms, inhale, center. Exhale, lengthen arms, all right? If you're feeling like you want to add in the elevated legs, right, you can do that too. So feet down, feet up, barbell, right? Or extended arms, right? So whatever variation you're taking, think about inhale, center. It's the exhale when we twist. And a few more rounds. Good job. Next time you come back through center, pause at center. If you have your barbell, let it move down to the side. Hands can come down, and then you can let the knees swing side to side. All right, as the knees settle back towards center, we're going to do one more weighted movement. Right, and this one, if you choose, you don't have to use weights, of course. This one is just going to be a weighted hip thrust, like a weighted half wheel. So you can just check me out for a second. So if we're using the weights, you got to kind of hold them at your hips, right? You don't want them to roll into your face. And it's just our normal cycle, but we're going to keep the weights at the hips. So you're lifting a little bit more with your pelvis, right? So that's the option. Right? And again, if you like to put a little extra cushion or anything underneath your head and shoulders for a bit more softness, then doing that. And with or without weights, the spine is neutral. I have my ankles close to being under my knees, and my heels are at hips with distance. And it's a breath in where we stretch the hips up. And then exhale, right, we're going to bring the hips back down. Right, if you're not using the weights and you want to use your arms instead and extend them overhead as the hips rise, right, you might flow through that movement cycle. So yeah, make it your practice moving like you. Yeah, one more time here, hips up, Hips come back down. We'll let the hips rest on the floor. If you still got your weights, bring your elbows to the floor and keep the weights in the hands. Wrists are going to be over elbows. Yeah, we're going to just do it like a press, right? So we're going to inhale, arms up. Exhale, elbows back down towards the mat. A few times here. It's like an upside down push-up. Let's see if we have 3 more. Yeah, last one here. Yeah, as the elbows come back down to the floor, go ahead and move your weights off to the side. Yeah, and as the weights move off to the side, we're going to lengthen out through the legs. As we lengthen out through the legs, draw the inseams of the legs in towards each other. Yeah, and then we're going to interlock our thumbs and take our hands towards behind the head, right? So I know that they might not be all the way behind the head. They might. All right. So we are drawing ourselves as long as we can. So we're stretching through the fingertips and through the balls of the feet. So like an arrow. Yeah, feel the belly stretch. There's an opening even underneath the rib cage. And from our arrow shape, we're going to form a crescent moon. We'll first take feet and fingertips over to the right. Right, so big stretch around the left side of the body. Focus under that left armpit into the rib cage area, breath-wise. And then as your next inhale comes, take yourself back through center. And then you're going to exhale. We're going to shimmy feet and fingertips now over to the left. Again, big movement down the right side body. We're really thinking about the right rib cage or even up underneath that armpit. Try to create space with breath. Here's our last breath here. As your inhale comes, you're going to shimmy back through center, and at center, let the arms relax back down by the sides of the body so we can pancake ourselves onto our bellies. And as we come onto our bellies, legs are long. There could be a little bit of distance between the inseams of the feet, or they can stay close. So whatever feels more natural for you, that's fine. Right, and then we're going to find Sphinx Pose. So we're going to bring the elbows to the mat. It could be a little bit ahead of the shoulders. You could have the hands and fists, or you could bring your palms to the mat. All right, there's a softening here of your rib cage, right? So there's a little bit of a softening of the chest forward. I'm using my forearms to lift me, not my shoulders. We're going to make a soft U shape with the head here. So ear to shoulder, chin to chest, ear to shoulder, chin to chest. Yeah, a few times like that if it's comfortable for you. Okay, next time the chin and chest come together, we'll stop there. And then from there, we'll bring the gaze back to neutral. We're going to have a few breaths here, just as you are, or if you're wanting to build up the opening in the spine, you can press the palms into the mat to lift the elbow. Gaze might turn up just a little. 3 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. No, breathing out, 3. Elbows come back down. Stack the palms and then spin the elbows to the side. You can let the forehead rest on the tops of the hands. And then here you're going to shake your bunny tail. So hips are going to shift side to side. All right. Stilling our hip wiggle. We're going to pancake ourselves again. Now we're going to move onto our back again. As we come onto our back, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. So knees are going to bend. Take the right thigh over the left thigh, and then stretch the arms out into a T shape. You might have your weights right there, so just don't clonk yourself on them. All right, so right thigh is over left thigh, and then we're going to let the knees fall over to the left. Right, and then probably the knees aren't going to come to the ground. That's okay. Just let your feet connect down. Right, big stretch through the hip, right through the glute, through the lower back. See if you can turn your nose to your right shoulder. And we got 5 breaths here. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 4. Breathing in. Breathing out 5. Inhale, nose and knees back to center. Changing the cross. Right foot comes to the mat. Left thigh over right thigh. Then the knees fall over to the right. And we can turn our nose now to our left shoulder. Again, we have 5 breaths. Breathing in. Breathing out 1. Breathing in. Breathing out 2. Breathing in. Breathing out 3. Breathing in. Breathing out 4. Breathing in. Breathing out 5. Inhale back to center with nose and knees. Uncross the legs. Bring both thighs in towards the belly, and then hands can wrap around the shins. Big hug, maybe drawing up nose to knees. Tight breath, tight hug. And then as you exhale, we'll let everything lengthen out on the mat. Yeah, coming into your final resting pose. If you like to prop the body at all, a little lift under the head or anything, then do that. And as we let the body settle into the mat, we'll bring our attention back to our breath. Practicing our relaxed breath together. We'll breathe in. We'll breathe out. Then breathing in for 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathing in 1, 2, 3. Breathing out 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A few more rounds, counting to yourself into 3, out to 6 at your own pace. Come back into the body, wiggling fingers, wiggling toes, rolling wrists, rolling ankles. Now find one more big stretch with your breath in. And then let your exhale soften you. You can roll on to your side, and from your side, make your way up to a seat. And as we come back to our seat, we can let the eyes stay soft. Bringing a hand to the heart and a hand to the belly. Breathing in through the nose. Soft breath out of the mouth. Again, like that. And softening your head to your heart. Honoring the light within you. Seeing and honoring that same light in each and every one of us. Namaste.